first myth asks if Dave Brubeck's fantastic Time Out record actually came into existence after he heard a group of street musicians playing a traditional song in a rather odd time signature. As one of the greatest and most important jazz records ever made, this is quite a story, and it's a story that happens to be completely true. You can find it in a number of interviews, but Dave Brubeck was actually touring in Turkey at the time as part of the US Department of State program, and he heard a group of street musicians playing a traditional song in 9/8 time, which at the time was an unheard of time signature to be played in Western music. So after he agreed with his label to record an album of more traditional songs, they gave him the green light to go ahead and do his experimental jazz record. And that album would become Time Out, with the song Blue Rondo a la Turk having a 9/8 time signature as a nod to the album's origins. Most of the other tracks on that record also use non-traditional time signatures, and in the end, yeah, it's totally true that he got the idea for the record after hearing street musicians playing. My second myth today asks if there's any truth behind the story that Bob Marley was somehow murdered by a conspiracy behind the US government that somehow gave him or enhanced his cancer that eventually killed him. This one has been around for a long time, and conspiracy theorists love to say that the US government and other governments were pretty much scared and sick of the way that Bob Marley was rallying the underclass. Some people say he was anti-democratic, that he was communist, the list of reasons goes on and on, but there's not a thread of truth to this. None of it at all. It's total myth. Now to me, Bob Marley remains the greatest protest writer of all time, and he had certainly incurred the ire of a number of different governments around the world. But for all you wonderful conspiracy theorists out there, here is some fact for you. I know you guys hate fact because it ruins your day. Bob Marley was diagnosed with cancer a number of years before it was made public, and he ignored his doctor's recommendation and refused to have surgery due to religious reasons. So that initial cancer spread throughout his entire body, eventually taking his life in 1981. When he revealed to the public that he had cancer, he had already had it for a number of years. When he talked about it, it was really bad by that point. Go ahead and run out all the secret paperwork that you want, but the fact of the matter comes down to this being an ignored doctor's recommendation and Bob Marley's religious beliefs. Him doing that led to his death, which we all know was tragic, but I'm sorry, it is not a conspiracy. Governments had nothing to do with it. My final myth today is actually a very recent one that I've received a number of questions about, and it revolves around the recently posted photo that shows John Lennon and Che Guevara playing guitar together. Claiming that it was taken in a studio in 1966, this is about as obvious a Photoshop job as you'll ever find. It is totally false, and if you think about it, you don't even need me to tell you. In the photo, John Lennon already has his trademark glasses and a very obvious hairstyle. And it's not his Beatles haircut that he had in 1966. It was the glasses and look that he probably had closer to 1976. And Che, well, Che died in 1967, well before John Lennon even needed glasses or cut his hair in that style. Cut and dry, folks, this is a copy-paste job. It's a fake, it's that simple. So those are my myths for this week. Be sure to check back here every Friday as I delve into some of the coolest stories in music history. If you've got a myth you want me to check out, you can email it to me at thedailyguru@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again next time.